today. Anybody else notice that Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, Bitcoin has hit a record high? How many of you are aware of that? How many of you know that Bitcoin has been literally raining money into the sky? Like, give me a yes if you've been watching this. It's been absolutely beautiful to watch and just amazing and just shocking. There's just so much freaking money being made right now. It's ridiculous. And Bitcoin, I want to say last time I checked, it was at 66,000. Every time I look at my Coinbase account, it's going up. And a lot of this it's great to see because a lot of you were consistently investing in Bitcoin when it was going down and everyone else is running away and everyone else is letting go of their assets cheaply. You were going in and you were buying. If you had financial consciousness, that's what you were doing. That's what financially conscious people do. They wait for everyone else to get nervous, and that's when they go buy stuff, right? So people who did that, people who took that approach, are the people who are benefiting right now. These are the people who are making money. And here's the other beautiful thing. If you've been following, just the conversations we've been having pretty much every day for about 12 years now, you'll know that I've been mentioning to you guys that buying Bitcoin consistently appeared to be, in my view, a good long-term strategy. This is not a mystery. This is not something that was a shocker. This is not a surprise. This was not luck. This was predictable. This is easily predictable. Not everything in the market's predictable, but some things are. And so basically this is the reward. Like right now, today's one of those mornings you wake up and you're like, oh my God, there's so much money coming into my account. It's wonderful to do. And where did that come from? Well, if you were that person who was just buying a little bit of Bitcoin every week, just, let's say you were automatically investing, say $20 a week, $50 a week, $100 a week, whatever you can afford, then you would find that you'd actually have a lot of money and a lot of what most Americans unfortunately don't have, which is financial security. So there is money out here. There's money being made. And right now money is literally just raining out of the sky because it's not just Bitcoin. You see, financial. There's something. When I wrote my dissertation at Ohio State, my dissertation chair was a really nice Canadian man named Andrew Caroli, and Professor Caroli's expertise. He's now at Cornell. Professor Caroli's expertise was something called financial contagion. Financial contagion is where one asset affects another, where one economic circumstance affects another. It's like in your household, if daddy loses his job, that's going to affect everybody's finances because they're all connected to daddy's economic situation. Or if somebody owes you money and then they lose their job, then that's going to affect you because now you won't get your money back, which affects the person that you owe money to. So financial contagion is where financial viruses spread, right? And there aren't very many good jabs that you can give. Merck and Pfizer don't make jabs that go with to solve financial contagion. The best you have are these tools used by entities like the Federal Reserve. Well, right now, the rise in Bitcoin is creating positive financial contagion for the market. The rise in Bitcoin has led to a massive and explosive, I mean, just like overwhelming rise in stocks like Coinbase, Marathon Digital, Riot Platforms, a lot of these Bitcoin ETFs. Just it's kind of interesting because if you're in our stock options training camp, that or the Prime program, that sometimes the stock going too high too fast can make it kind of tough to keep up with. And so if you want to talk about stocks in particular, we're going to have another stock session soon. I don't want to get into the weeds of stocks. I see some of your stock questions in here about specific stocks. We can do that during stock market class, but I just wanted to make you aware. This is financial awareness, money manifestation, financial consciousness. I want you to make sure that you're conscious of what is happening right now. Right now, you're watching trillions of dollars of wealth be created just like that. And the thing about wealth that's interesting is that wealth, it doesn't always appear in the form of money. Wealth can appear in the form of what they call unrealized gains, right? So what you're seeing is that same asset that people own, that same house, that same share of stock, that same piece of Bitcoin is still the same as it was. It just has more value. Right. So when it has more value, it creates what they call the wealth effect. And the wealth effect is where basically people just feel richer because they own stuff that has more value. So you can have the opposite effect take place where people own the exact same amount of everything and the price goes down and people end up feeling sad. And you're like, why are you sad? Well, because I lost money. Well, did you lose money? Where? Show me the money that you lost. Like what happened? $100 bill fell out of your pocket? No, my house went down, in value by $50,000. Well, you kind of lost money, but you have the same house, right? And so one of the reasons that people like Warren Buffett have an issue with assets like Bitcoin is he makes a very good point. He says that with if I buy a factory, I'm getting an asset that actually makes money, whether the price goes down or goes up. If I buy a house, I own a house, one house with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms or whatever, if it's a big house, and that doesn't change. Even if the value of the house changes, there's still intrinsic value in that asset. He said with Bitcoin, the all you got is the only when you buy Bitcoin, you're not able to make money from Bitcoin, other than finding somebody who will buy your Bitcoin from you at a higher price, and they're buying it from you because they think they can find it or sell it to somebody at a higher price. And so, for some people, this creates what they might refer to as a speculative bubble. Or make it into almost like a Ponzi scheme. Like I'm looking for a bigger sucker that's going to buy this expensive, overpriced thing for more than somebody else. And so speculation is okay. It's a different form of investing, but it's not the same as investing in a real asset that has real value. Like if I buy shares of Coca-Cola, I'm getting a company that sells millions of bottles of Coke all around the world. They're generating real cash flow. So even if Coca-Cola was not a publicly traded company, I would still have something of value. But if you took away the publicly traded aspect of Bitcoin, then there is no value. There's no way you could really generate wealth from it because it's not a good real asset. So be really careful about assets like that. Like right now, what you're seeing is what is being looked at as the beginning of a speculative bubble. Bubbles typically burst. People get crazy during bubbles. They start paying insane prices for stuff that had no value not too long ago. As Bitcoin is rising, the other markets are starting to wake up. You're starting to see the NFT market waking up. You're starting to see other cryptos waking up. It's almost like one of those horror movies where all the zombies in the graveyard start to climb out of the grave and they start coming to life, and then maybe they all start dancing to Thriller, because this is Thriller, right? Anyway, so this is what I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing the beginning of what is going to become a ridiculous craze. If you're in there now or you're getting in there now, then you're going to benefit. You're going to benefit from all the people that are going to read the headline and say, "Oh Lord, hey Lucy, they're making money over at the stock market." And what is unfortunate is that a lot of people make the mistake of buying when everything is high, when everybody else is already in there, and then what happens is those people end up holding the hot potato when the market crashes and collapses again. Because a lot of times people ask me, they say, "Well, I don't know if I should invest in the stock market. What if the stock market crashes? Do you think the stock market might crash, Dr. Boyce?" I say, "Of course it's going to crash. The stock market crashes every 2, 3 years. Of course it's going to crash, but we don't call those crashes in finance. We call those corrections. Corrections are just where you thought it was worth one price and you found out it was worth something else, and so you make a correction. You just adjust, like an accounting error. Like I'm going to erase the old number and put a new number in here. So don't someone Veronica, I love your singing performances. You like my singing? Well, tell me, baby, can you stand the rain? That's the song I sing all the time when it comes to investing, because that's the thing about investing. That's what makes the difference between good investors and bad investors, is that good investors can stand the rain. Good investors are able to dig in, and when times get tough, they don't back off, they don't get scared, they don't run away. They stick to their guns, they own their assets and they hold them, right? So if you're trying to go hold an asset when it's popular, then I need you to get past the real test. The real test is, can you hold the asset when it's not popular? Can were you shooting jumpers in the gym before Kobe got famous, basically? Like, are you the person that gets in before the asset rises, which means you have economic vision and economic intelligence and all the things we talk about here? We're here mostly what we do with money in the morning is mostly about money mindset. We're really hypnotizing ourselves. We're brainwashing ourselves to talk about money every single morning, right? The world's trying to brainwash you. You might as well brainwash yourself. So I think talking about money every single morning is a great way for you to get in the habit of doing something that's good for you. Just like my wife got me in the habit of going to the gym every morning, and I like being in the habit of giving her a kiss on the cheek, and that's why I have her picture behind me, because my wife is somebody that I want to brainwash myself to remember how much I love her, right? So the same thing is true when it comes to yourself and your financial situation. You've got to care about your long-term finances by doing something every day that's going to better that situation, all right? So your financial health is very, very important. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of housekeeping items. these are a couple of gifts that I want to share with you that I'm hoping will help you. You feel free to use or not use if you'd like. One is I created a list of stocks you can invest in Africa. And because a lot of you would ask me about, how do I invest in Africa? Well, there are some funds. There aren't many, but there are a few funds that are invested in Africa. The reason that I compiled this list is because Africa is one of the fastest growing economies on the planet long term. The next 50 to 100 years, Africa is predicted to do quite well. And remember, with any form of investing, you want to get in before the trends occur, not after. But every indicator is sort of pointing to Africa, similarly to Bitcoin, where it's just sort of this thing where they're like, oh yeah, everything pretty much says that Africa is going to be the boss, the economic boss, in the next few years. Let me make sure that's the right list. Let me double check that. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's the right one. Okay. And another thing I want to give you guys is if you, some of you may have an interest in Forex. If you want to do Forex trading, I don't do a lot of Forex trading, but in the Black Business School, we partnered with a great Black man named Michael Edwards, who is deep into Forex trading. He's one of the best around. And so he is actually going to partner with the Black Business School to do some Forex training. So he's having a free session that you can attend. There's the link to register for the Forex event. And it also, if you don't see that link and you just text the word morning, MORNING, text morning to 87948, and I will send you all the link to join the Forex event. It's going to be this Friday at 8 p.m. And Michael's going to do this, his thing, and he's very good at it. And that'll give you an opportunity to get introduced into Forex trading. I'd like to show you guys all the different ways there are to make money. The third thing is, my wife is a therapist. She runs our Black Financial Therapy department. So every Tuesday we do the Love and Money Lab. So if you have somebody that you love or someone that you're in a partnership with, someone that you are building a business with, someone in your family and you're building wealth together, then my wife's skills in therapy and relationship management really come in handy in terms of helping you to make sure your relationships protect your money and that your money protects your relationships. So I'm going to give you guys the link to the Love and Money Lab. It's theloveandmoneylab.com. And here's the link if you want to join that program. You can actually use the code BlackLove2024, and you can actually get like 70% off if you want to. That's not free, but all the content is yours for life, and you can bring your whole family. So BlackLove2024 is the code, and there's the link. So I'll put all that in the chat for you in case you guys would like to join us. All right, so let's talk about. I had some stuff on the agenda. All right, so really, with this Bitcoin thing. It really speaks back to something else that was on my mind. I was looking at this video and I put it on my Instagram. My Instagram is Dr. Boyce Finance. And in this Instagram video, there was a guy who made a really interesting statement. He said that we don't need billionaires. He basically said that billionaires are not necessary. Billionaires are just these greedy bastards who hoard all this money and don't share it with anybody except for themselves. And billionaires are just bad for society. And again, I'm not going to tell you what to think about that,